Hello everybody, this is Reggie Time and welcome to day 3 and video 3 of my 10NL Bankroll challenge, where I'm hoping to make $1,000 at 10NL to demonstrate that it is possible to build a bankroll at these limits despite the rake and the difficulty of the games, etc. As you can see, it's not going too badly at the moment. Let's take the lines off just for a second. We are up by $71.89 in however many hands, 6,500 hands. So we're going at just about 10 bigs 100. EV close enough. Showdown winnings getting under control from last night. Tailing off a little bit towards the end here, but overall, going pretty well. We're losing. We've got now over nearly 7,000 hands. We're only losing $58 at non-showdown, which is less than the 10 big blinds per 100 benchmark that I set for myself. So pretty pleased with all of that. Just bringing the hand on last night. That was fun to show you. We isolated the 7-8. We get called. We flop the world. We get min raise. We 3-bet. He calls. So he min 4 bets. We just call in. Turn to 3, he checks, we bet, he calls, we bet, check, I jam 89 blinds, he calls, and he says the Queen 6, which is lovely, and that was a beautiful 330 big blind pot that got shipped to us just towards the end of a session. My run goods continued at the start of this session, or my good results. So yeah, overall at the moment, really, really super pleased with how it's going. And yeah, I've felt I've learnt some more things since yesterday about myself, about the grind, etc. And hopefully we'll cover them as the session goes on. I'm going to close holding manager now because I've got a tournament running, and it's only a shitty little small $2 tournament, but the HUD stats are all over the place, and to be frank, I can't be asked to fix them up, so we just play that HUD in the tournament. It's not the end of the world. And we'll do a little deal with the video. The video will last at least an hour, but we'll keep the video going for as long as the tournament lasts. So if the tournament lasts, if we get it to the final table, it's going to be a super long video. So let's hope for a super long video, I guess. If we bust out in the first 10 minutes, obviously we'll still do at least the hour for the video. So it's all good. What a great flop for aces. Absolutely cannot think of a single reason to raise here. Well, value would be a good reason, I guess, but I mean, obviously he's going to shove the turn out because he's clearly committed himself. King 8 offsuit. Well played, sir. A few more of those and we'll get to the target much quicker than I expected. We won't be talking too much strategy in the tournament. My overall tournament strategy probably leaves an awful lot to be desired. I'm going to fold this river if he bets again. Oh, well, I was until he bet 30. I expect we lose pretty much all the time, but he might just have 10 jack, who knows? No, he doesn't, he has ace 6. I guess it was a bit ambitious hoping he had 10 jack. The tournament is just a little thing to have going in the corner rather than just having a blank screen. So I don't really give too much of a fuck how the tournament goes, to be honest with you. It's a $2 buy-in. There's a grand total of 137 up top, so we're not going to get rich with it. Any winnings I do make from any tournaments I play during the course of this challenge will be deducted from the building a bankroll. It's the challenge is win $1,000 at the cash tables, not just win $1,000. Flop a set on table 3 against someone who is very nitty. I looked at him last night, his stats were off the hook nitty. I'm not going to shove this river because I don't think he's the sort of player who's going to call with an ace. I'm going to try and just make a raise that he can't fold to. It looks very much like he's got an ace to me. Ace queen, ace king, maybe ace jack. Well, we did make the fold. If he's folding an ace there, then, you know, more power to him. Hats off to him. I think it's entirely possible he could have folded an ace there too. It's disappointing that he did, or if he did, it was disappointing for me. But you know, we'll take it. So what I talked earlier about, I think I've learned some things again last night, and it's not so much. I learned a little bit about the games, but I learned a bit more about my approach to them, and I was being a little bit cally, and just a little bit too tight and a bit too cally, I think. I'm not going to let my stats be known to anyone during the course of the video, just because I know some players are saying hello to me at the table, some regulars are watching the video. So I mean, yeah, these guys are going to be able to get my stats anyway, but they're going to have to work for them. They're going to have to go and find them themselves. I'm not just going to give them away on the video. I'll be happy to share my stats at the end, but I'm not going to share them during the course of making the series. But needless to say, the gap between my VP and PFR was just a little bit on the big side for my liking. In min raised here. Some players do this with draws, so we can't fold just yet. We now pick up a draw ourselves. I want to be careful not to be putting too much money in this pot. I'm very comfortable putting 10 in, and we're just going to check for the river unimproved. Nine six. So that's another guy who is going to get the tag. So yeah, I think I was exhibiting some kind of, I don't know, definitely mistakes, unquestionably mistakes. I was calling a little bit too many, like, not great hands pre-flop. Like in position, I'd be calling a raise with, like, I don't know, 8-6 suited, Jack 8 suited, all those types of things. And not really winning many of those pots, and it all just felt a little bit shit, and felt like I could do better. And I don't think I was really attacking enough from another set. I don't think I was attacking enough from the cut-off and the button either. So hopefully I've identified those now, and I'll see some improvements on that score. You won't necessarily see too much in the videos, but hopefully I'll see them when I go to review what's been happening. And calling the flop and the turn being relative, I mean a relative, but yeah, 10-7's got there, 7-5's got there, but if he's got those two hands, well, tough shit for me. Now it's just a matter of, do I jam? And then sometimes when I get called into the cooler, but otherwise, you know, sometimes the cooler goes our way when he just has like the underset. I mean, yeah, 10-7's possible, 7-5's possible. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that someone's called 7-5 suited, 10-7 suited, and then called again when they've flopped a good shot. But I think with this set, it's just a matter of, do I raise and get it in now, or do I call and let him continue bluffing? I think there's enough in the pot now where I just want to just jam and whatever. And you just have the underset, which is pretty damn awesome. And our little mini heater continues. We're on a super little heater right now. 4 buy-ins today already. I played a little bit before the start of the video. Same as last night, where I didn't go to bed on time and I started playing. But yeah, we're on right now. I mean, to be fair, I've been kind of waiting for the heater because I have played like 10 hours now, and it's felt like 10 hours of not much happening. Me just like winning and losing small pots, and then, you know, last night's session was incredibly stale for a lot of it. As you can see by the graph that I produced, it had quite a long flat spell in it where just nothing happened. We won a few pots, lost a few pots, and then it just all kicked off, and we won a few nice pots at the end. And saying you drew one, it's not right, but we drew action. I just had no action either, like in my favour or against me. It was really at times last night. It was really quite dull, which reminded me just what it's like to be a grinder, and it's teaching me how soft I'd become as a player, how scared kind of taken a lot of the edge off my ability as a grinder. I just got really lazy. I'd started taking good games for granted. Looking back now, we saw the last few days how much effort and time I put in compared to the time I've been putting on a Sky and the hands I've been putting in. It feels much better right now. Even though I'm playing like lower stakes, I actually feel like I'm a grinder again. And that's a nice feeling. Whether that's going to lead me into the temptation of just grinding higher stakes at the expense of the challenge or not, I hope not. I hope we can stick with this challenge. It's been very well received. I'm really pleased with the feedback I'm getting. The videos are getting decent views on YouTube, considering I'm not spamming them anywhere whatsoever apart from the Facebook group. Again, some good comments and good feedback. Yeah, so it's, while I keep getting that, keep riding like the wave of positivity that you guys are sending my way, it's going to encourage me to keep on doing it. But I'm hoping that, like, well, if I do get the bug to start grinding really hard at like 13 or 15 again, maybe I can do it and then still put a couple of hours a day into this. But the intention still is 100% to finish the course. We can't really fold these kings here. I'm pretty concerned that we're beat, but again, he could just have a smaller. When he uses sizing, I'd be surprised if I don't see a better hand here, but I'm not wanting to folding over pairs in 3-bet pots. We can have jacks and queens and do this. He does have the set, which is a pisser, but whatever. It's just that raise sizing. It's such a fucking obvious tell that they've got a monster. But you're just literally never going to catch me telling people to fold over pairs in 3-bet pots. Especially on those board sections where people can just be overplaying smaller over pairs. Whatever. You know, we've run really good so far this session. We've finally lost one. I'm not going to sulk about that. At least we're getting action. At least it's fun. It's interesting. So we now have a flush draw to go. So we're an open-ender to go with our flush draw. So we're probably going to triple barrel here now on table 3. Certainly are when we hit the straight. I mean, he could have 8-9 here, I guess. Can't raise fold. Guess it's just raise call. Whatever. Just fold. I lost focus on. That's exactly what we talked about last night. I've just done it again there. I lost focus on table 1 because of the action on table 3, which is a mistake, but I probably wouldn't have seen with that board anyway. So yeah, I've got the grind. It feels like I've got the grind book back. Fuck off, the microphone went for a burn. Sorry about that, guys, if that's just deafened anyone listening to headphones with the microphone falling. Do apologise. Yeah, I feel like I've got the grind back. I feel like I've got grind on my mind. I'm really enjoying it because it's completely pressure free. For the first time in ages, I'm feeling like completely immune to my results and my sole focus on the quality of my play, which has made me, which I didn't think I thought was in that state with my other games, but I clearly wasn't, because now I'm feeling just like extra. There's like a weight off my shoulders a little bit in terms of like, you know, I can just play with complete freedom. And I thought I did that anyway. Genuinely did think that's where my game was. But it clearly wasn't. This has demonstrated there's room for improvement in that with me. Because now I'm just like, I'm making folds in spots I know I wouldn't make folds at higher limits. Even though the money's less, I'm making folds that I wouldn't make. I'm making value bets that I haven't been making. I've been making bluffs that I haven't been making. Not very many. You know, we're only talking maybe a handful of instances every session. But it's still demonstrating that my game wasn't as strong or wasn't in as good a shape as I thought it was. And that's been very interesting to me. And now I've got to start thinking, why was that? Why is it that I've not noticed that I could have been playing like much better? Like obvious things I talk to students about, things I talk to people who come to me, I talk to them about it, about how you shouldn't do these things, how you shouldn't have these leaks. And I didn't think I had them in my game, or didn't think I had very many of them in my game. And now, having been playing 10 and L, I'm realising, you know what? Some of them had crept into my game. And I don't believe for a second I was scared money, because I haven't been playing that high lately. I haven't been playing that high for a good few months now. I've been playing mostly 20 and 30 L on Sky, and mostly 30 L Triple 8, which is well within my role, which is well within my compass. So yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I think it's probably come from a fear of losing or something. I don't know. But there's definitely been something not right there that's only become apparent since starting this challenge. River Gold's throwing some chips at me, which is nice. I'm not going to throw any at you with the Queen Jack suited though, sir. We've been 3-bet by a Nick. We have Ace Queen suited. I want to just fold now, but I think it might be a little bit too tight. But I did want to just fold, because now I'm just going to have to fold anyway. It's like, what did I want to hit? I think I've gone against my instincts there. Having just talked about how well I've been sticking to my instincts and backing my instincts, and then on video I go against my instincts and don't fold the Ace Queen to the 3-bet from a Nick. That's a bad call there. I think we could fold that quite easily. So far we haven't put a blasted chip in the pot in the tournament, I don't think. Oh, did we? We had the Queen 10, didn't we? We played one pot. Sorry, my life in tournaments. Don't play very many pots, then just bust. It's pretty standard. Queen 10, King 10 suited. We'll let it go because the razor doesn't have too many chips. So I checked the Ace Queen just so we could have a reasonable hand in our check calling range. He instantly checks back. I'm gonna bet for thin value now. Hoping to get called by pocket nines, Queen Jack, I guess, pocket tens, pocket jacks maybe, stuff that didn't fall bet. I think he's probably just going to fold most of the time though, which he does. I guess we could have checked one more time there and just decided to take our hand to showdown. It's a nice bet, Baraka. You're going to win this pot, sir. Well, you're going to win it from me anyway. You're getting me out. Yes, so given what I've learned about myself by playing straight significantly below what I'm playing, it might be fun for you guys to just go and play some, like, if you're 10-0 player, just go and play some 2-0 and just see exactly how different your game is when you're playing with total freedom compared to your game when you're maybe playing with some restrictions that you don't even know are there. Because like I said, I didn't even know those restrictions were there in my game. Didn't know they existed. But I've certainly identified them. And I don't think I would have done that had I not come and moved lower down to a limit where I can just be totally and utterly reliant on my instincts and not second guess myself at any second and just like, oh, it's just like, no, this is what I think, this is what I'm going to go with, and I'm not going to let anything else influence that decision. Not flush draw on table 2. Seems like a good spot to start betting when we get the insta fold. This guy is having fun. Starting to think about ranges that I'm going to call with when I'm in pots with him, and right now I'm thinking 7s plus and like ace 10 plus, king queen suited, that type of thing, depending on my position when he does it. My range obviously in the big blind will be somewhat wider than my range if we're middle position versus under the gun, for the reason that we need to be careful of what's behind us when we're calling like the bottom of our range that we decide to call him with. I don't think we're going to get called here by Rodrigo and win, but oh shoot, I didn't realise the guy behind us. That was an appalling mistake by me there, just overbet jamming when we had the guy with the big stack behind us. I mean, yeah, we always have, like, not virtually always have the best hand, but our chances of getting called are significantly reduced. I should just have like made a normal size bet there. I thought we were just jamming against the guy who had like 125% pot in his stack. Well, into the red line win, so every cloud and all that. You'll notice me folding small pairs under the gun. It's something I've gone back and forth on for quite a while. At the moment I'm in my they're not really worth it phase. Eventually at some point they'll come back into my I think they're worth it phase, and I've chewed and froed on that for years. Don't expect that to change anytime soon. Right, so we've got a pair and an open and straight draw against someone who's making some pretty fucking large bets. I don't think we can fold here just yet. Make our straight. Hoping he hasn't made a flush. He just potted it again. And he was starting to pot it before the flush draw got there. I mean, we made our hand. I guess if he's got a flush, and good for him. I guess that's the way I'm looking at it here. And he had the bigger straight, so There's 100% of size intel that this fellow, well, not 100%, but just going to tag him with the bull for now, because my setup when I'm recording is different to my setup when I'm not recording, and I'm quite far from a keyboard, so I'll tag him as a bull for now, which will remind me to put a note on him later that he just like mashes pot. In situations like that, because I think he's made a really good bet on the river there, and he's got absolute maximum value from me. Hats off to him. I'm in 3-bet. We need to defend the ace-6, of course, although we're going to be careful not to get too stuck in our hand when we flop small pieces. Jack 8 off suit on table 3. Jack 8 suited, so we would have some backdoors, and that's about it. So we make our c-bet. Still haven't really put a chip in the pot in the tournament. Somehow we've managed to lose whatever it is, 15% or so of our starting stack. More than 15%, what the fuck am I talking about? No, 15%'s about right, isn't it? I don't know, whatever. Do it. Do it. Do that 3-bet thing. Up to board on table 1. I almost never check in these situations, but what can he have? His limp called the button. So I'm going to give him one chance to catch up. See if our flop check got us paid there, or wow, we're getting fucking big hands everywhere tonight. Maybe it got us paid. He's just looked us up with the ace deuce. No fucking clue what's going on there, but again, as is not the reason why. I would normally say hello to this gentleman here, but sadly, as I said earlier, my keyboard is pretty much out of reach. I feel really shit when I don't respond to people who are being polite at the tables, but not a situation where I can respond. Might turn my kings into a bluff here. How do I get to the river with an 8? Is there ways that I can have an 8? And make him fold an ace. I've gone for these spots so often, and then people just snap me off with the ace. But go for it anyway. Who knows, he might have a fucking 8 somehow. Ace 3. Whatever. Again, that was, I should have just listened to my instincts and just fucking folded then. But I didn't. So that's twice now bragged about listening to my instincts. And then during this video, I have not actually listened to them. So I'm going to start listening to them again for the video now. Hopefully not have that happen again. Oh, we got some chips in the tournament. Good for us. Yeah. Disappointed there. When he bets the river, no. He made a bad I think I made a bad bluff there. But I didn't expect him to have a straight, I'll be honest. I didn't really expect him to have one. I'm not super pleased with myself. These are the hands I've been a little bit wary of, these 8-9 suited, but when we're in a pot with a guy who's been spewing just not that long ago, it's a situation where I'm prepared to take a little bit of a punt. I would have possibly considered 3-betting that if I was going to play it from the button against lots of players, but against someone who's been like just mashing the all-in button a lot. 3-betting with a hand like 9-8 just seems like utterly fucking ridiculous thing to do. I'm going to bet twice now, it's checked to me twice. Have to call this 3-bet. Don't particularly want to, but I think we have to because of the size and because we're deepish. Instincts here are saying give up. Again, even though we could try and rep some weird straight, it's too likely he might have one. He's just called him in as like the small blind. He can have an ace, he can have a 6, he can have some 2 pairs. Again, I think that's a bluff that wouldn't have worked, so fortunately instincts were listened to that time, and it didn't cost me any money. And I didn't see bet the flop on table 3 because there's just no pair, no draw, no nothing. In situations like that, I usually just completely give up. Just 8-9 rather than 8-7. I think I could see by this board, but it isn't. So we won't. Reason being 8-9 gives us a good shot on 2 overs, obviously, rather than just the 2 overs. The extra 4 cards that we can hit make a significant difference there. Not sure about tournaments, whether I should add them to the mix of my play. Just really, really small buying ones. I mean, I'm not going to play any big buying tournaments. Or if having another cash table there might be a better idea. Might be a better use of my time and real estate for the next video. Maybe just have like a random 10 and L reg table. It feels better to have something running there than just having the fold and show table. I'll put to set in about 5 minutes or 10 minutes, so hopefully we're about to do it on table 2. Wouldn't it just be a lovely time to flow? Wow. Put that really shitty small 3-bet in. And we cap our range significantly when we just call here, but whatever. 9. Give me that 9 ball right about there. Nine? Nope. No 9. Poker sucks. Again, no pair, no draw, no over cards on table 2, so table 3. So yeah, just going to give up. Still no pair, no draw, no over cards. Horrible spot to see bet in my opinion. Hopefully we're going to get a chance to flop a set in the tournament. Be a nice time to do it. Not that there's ever a not nice time to flop a set, of course. 8. Nope. We do have an open ender and an overpair though, which may get us in some trouble. Yeah, 6-1 on a call here. We can't fold. It's gonna suck on someone just fucking like back raise jams or whatever, but we can't fold getting that price. I don't think we have the best hand, but we're getting 6-1. So what can we do? Now I think we're just gonna fold. River Gold charmingly bungs an egg at me. Good shot and an overcard on table 2. Table 1, sorry. Start by betting. And it works. Get it through. No, I was going to bet on table 2, sorry. But again, we just got like one shitty overcard and no real draw. Like backdoor straight draw with 10 being there, but overall, I think we just have to check fold. And at the moment, I'm acutely aware we're going through a spell of doing an awful lot of raising, checking, or folding, but that's just how poker is sometimes. Good shot on backdoor flush draw on table 1. So we're betting when he checks to us. Turn a pair. And bet here if he calls, probably going to check back the river. Don't expect this play to. I would value better straight hand a flush here and expect to get called by 2 pairs. So I'm not going to bluff. I don't think he would have folded that hand. River trips and gets someone to fold for 1/3 pot. And it's just going to demonstrate that we don't need to bet big on rivers to make people fold sometimes. And we're going to have an all-in situation in the tournament. You might want to avert your eyes to the pocket kings on the bottom right of your screen and the bottom pocket kings on the top left of your screen. All in with the Cowboys. And I'm feeling ever so slightly nervous about it. Not in terms of like the $2 for the tournament, just in, I don't know. I don't have a good feeling. Don't have a good feeling about my kings. Hold. Hold. They did hold. We like that. 8,062 chips have almost trebled my starting stack, and we have 100 big blinds again. Question here is, do we go all in to re-isolate? Interesting tournament spot here. Raise, re-raise. Do we want to risk half my stack with ace queen? Nope. Goodbye. Not c-betting against two players on that board texture. Just not interested. And did we have ace queen? We would have been in fucking tremendous shape. We would just have won a really juicy pot, but whatever. Yeah, the dick should be my uncle, wouldn't she? So what can we do? We just wait for the next hand to get two kings again. That's what we do. Very deep here on table 2. Someone's called our 3-bet and then just donked pot on 4 jack 5. Wowee. I'm just going to fold here. Am I? First instinct is fold. Just because of how deep we are with Sigurd. He's all in for 92 blinds. Yeah, I'm just going to fold and let it go. Sadly, we don't get the fold and watch option because I took too long because I'm a fucking nit. We will pull that hand back up in a moment and see what happened, because I think it's pretty likely that the all-in would have been called. Nope, we don't get to see. Who knows if that's a good fold or not. You know, someone donks pot, someone jams over it in a 3-bet pot, and we've just got one pair. It feels a bit nitty, but whatever. Comfortable with my fold. I'm at peace with it. And this could be quite a nitty check back here, but I don't think it's a full house. What worse jacks call? Basically, if I bet here, it's like what worse aces call. If I bet small enough, I think we can maybe get a call from like ace 10 or something. So we'll try. Oh nope, he had the flush. He didn't bet the flush on the river. That's it's interesting. I'll try to check back the turn. He's still just bluff catching with his flush. Yeah, so we've hit a little bit of turbulence after a crushing start. But I'm not one for complaining, so we won't. So I was talking to someone in my group the other day. They were complaining about how... Not complaining, they were talking about how I think we talked about it earlier anyway, about how you can have a heater in poker, you can have some good runs, and then he was withdrawing. I think I have talked about it anyway. And I used the analogy that I think Jared Tendley used in the mental game of poker, but it could have been Dusty Schmidt in Treat Your Poker Like a Business, both of which, if you haven't got those books, are fucking sensational. Highly recommend getting either of them, on both of them if you can afford it. Which is, you're going to treat your poker a little bit like a shop treats its sales. You know, just because you have a heater and you like win whatever, I don't know, or even if you just like not even have a heater, you just have a like a long-term winning roll where you win 20 buy-ins. I played that fucking hand horrible at Ace King, by the way. Played it utterly abjectly. It doesn't mean that money's all yours. If you get your roll from 150 to 400, that money isn't necessarily yours. Poker has like a habit of taking some back sometimes. You know, you have a good run, you win a lot of money, and then poker takes some back. because of how deep we are here with this poor fellow we have to call. We just get to win a huge stack when we do hit our set of 10s. Which, like a shop, you buy something from a shop, and then you have a certain amount of time where you can ask for a refund, and that's kind of what poker does. Poker, now and again, it gives you quite a lot of money, and then from time to time it asks you for a refund, and you've got to be prepared for that. I mean, we got to a fantastic start in this session. We were like 5 buy-ins up, and it's took a couple of them back now. There's no good being salty about that. It's just poker basically issuing a refund to itself. We made a lot of good sales in the start of the session, and then some people just come and return the goods. That's kind of how you got to look at it. Budovkin, and he needs tagging as a regular. He's played every night now, and he seems to play enough tables when he does play. I'm going to stop me 3-betting him with queens, though, obviously. Let's let the deuces go out from the small blind. I do feel like I haven't played very well the last, maybe 20 minutes. I feel like I've been doing an awful lot of talking and not really focusing hard enough on any of the hands I've played. Which sometimes happens when I'm making a video. I can lose focus sometimes. So we're going to try and regain some of that focus now. And if we were ahead on table 2 with the king of spades, that's probably just meant that we're no longer ahead. I was betting small twice for thin value from draws from 7x. It's hard to flop trips. It's really not. It's not an easy thing to do. I don't know if you tried, but it's quite difficult. So when trips are on board, or potential trips are on board, I don't always just give people those hands. When you could have trips, of course you could, but you could have flush draws, you could have 7x, pocket 6s. Who fucking knows what people could have? And rather just retain the initiative in the hand and make 2 exploitable blocking bets than give up the initiative and just end up guessing a lot. No overcards, no draw against Budovkin. And check back the flop here and just barrel any turn that we can reasonably rep, and that would be like an ace. 10 gives us a straight draw. Maybe check back at a jack or a queen. If he checks here, we're going to bet twice. Of course, the fear is that he's just got to have ace 6 or something, and he's just going to call twice, but it's good for our range, as they say. We're into the 50th minute of the video nearly. The document shows absolutely no signs of coming to an end soon, so who knows how long this video is going to go for. I just don't care anymore. When I first started making them, people on Reddit were like, oh, your videos are too long, 45 minutes, cut them down to 25. And then you look at your average viewing time on YouTube, it's like 6 or 7 minutes. That doesn't really fucking matter. It's not like the viewing time increased because I made videos more viewable by making them shorter, so pretty much just do whatever the fuck I please. Good shot on table 2. We're probably going to raise if he bets into us. I'm certainly going to bet if he checks to us. as my confidence returned. By the way, after the first session I had where I was 3-betting a lot of high cards and just never getting folds and missing flops. So I talked about how yesterday I was maybe thinking about not 3-betting some hands. I've kind of swung back away from that again already right now. And now I'm more willing to 3-bet some hands versus steals. Maybe not so much against early position and middle position, but certainly against steals. We're going to be doing it. I flopped a gut shot. Look at his stack size, so that makes it a little bit awkward. Still think we can raise fold. If you just like c-betting with ace king or ace queen or something there, it's just going to fold it most of the time, you would imagine. Dunked into a 9-8-3. Already a little bit nervous. Just going to call. Not particularly nervous anymore. Someone's in there with the queen 10 then. Absolutely massive congratulations to them. I keep calling 3-bets with marginal hands because of how deep we are. I'm going to do it again here with the ace jack, and again we're missing. I'm going to check to Helke or here, let him bet and then just shove in his face. Showing 2 players faces, I guess. Maybe when we are behind to the nuts or to the straight, like 10-7 or whatever, we stuck out a decent amount and we've got a chance to win like a fucking huge pot here. Oh, we get to make a fucking massive red line gain, which is pretty sweet. 8-6, what the fucking sweet Jesus is going on there? Wow. The games have certainly been better tonight than they've been in the previous nights I've been playing, that's for sure. I haven't seen anything like that. I've seen them maybe once in each night where people have just like completely spewed the ring up to me. That's reminded me of another thing I wanted to talk about these 10L games. In lots of ways, and this is going to sound fucking stupid, but in lots of ways they are worse games than the 13L games, and I'll explain why when I get a moment where we've got no action. See our open ender with our backdoor on table 1. So we flopped. This is almost Wilkesoo territory, isn't it? We kind of flopped a good hand. We've turned the monkey nuts, and we have an opportunity to river the absolute coconuts, don't we? We actually have an absolute coconuts river potential with the Queen of Diamonds. Sadly, we do not river the absolute coconuts, but whatever. And we just chopped the pot. That was all in all rather disappointing. It was quite exciting to begin with, and then it flopped like a shit souffle. But never mind. So yeah, I was about to talk about the games, wasn't it? And how I think these games are worse in a lot of ways than the 13L games. And the reason I say that is that worse than the 15L games is the regulars in these games are significantly worse than the 13L and 15L regulars. So let's get that out of the way. It's not the impression I'm trying to create. It's not the point I'm trying to make. 10L regulars are significantly worse than 13L regulars, who are significantly worse than 15L regulars. That's just a given. I'm not trying to argue that. What I am trying to argue is that there seems to have been, when I've been doing my hand reviews, I'm looking around the tables, I'm looking at people's stats that have been coming up in Hold'em Manager, there seems to be way less loose players with like high VPIPs in these games than there is in the 13 and 15 games. there's certainly a significant lack of like really bad loose aggressive fish. When you get them in the 13 or 15 hour games, they don't seem to be showing the face much in these games. And that's why I think sometimes they're like worse games. The average pot is usually hovering around 11 blinds. And I think it's because these games are like very, very heavily propped by tons of like just weak regulars that are just stuck. And on top of that, 5 and L, 10 and L, does that really appeal to like gamblers? I think 10L is more than made of people who are at least trying to be good at poker. Whereas at 13L, 15L, probably 100L and higher, you're going to find way more like bad aggressive fish in those games, because does any like real degen gambler want to come on and say, you know what I'm going to fucking do tonight? I'm going to play 5 cent, 10 cent poker. Degen it. Do they fuck? You know, they've got $90 in their account. They're going to go and buy a 200L game. And they're going to try and bluff their way to glory. Or if they've got $40 in an account, they're going to buy into a 15L game and all those types of things. So I think you get way less degen gamblers per 100 than you do in the higher games. And I think they make for an overall more stale gaming experience. Games just feel like not that fucking great. But they're not hard. I'm not for a second saying they're tough, because they're not tough. Very rarely am I put to any difficult situations, where in 15L, 13L, I feel like I'm being put to tough decisions quite often. I don't feel like I'm in these games. I'm going to donkey with my 2 overs and my flush draw against this player who looks like he might be quite a loose aggressive regular. I'm going to keep betting now if we hit our king. We could well be owning ourselves here. Value owning ourselves. But it seems unlikely. Calling 2 spots on the 4-8, 10-8 would certainly be taking the turn off here and checking back. We would have if we were given the chance to. And we got 3 streets against Queen. So my reasoning was fine. My stuck out was fine. But maybe I'm misunderstanding just how loose or aggressive that player is. Although we can't say we're wrong just because he turned up with pocket queens that time. Donking is something I'm trying to work into my game, because what we just talked about how like weak and meek and like reasonably passive these games are. I've been finding when I've been going for like check raises or trying to check call with bluff catchers, just not having to check call and not having the opportunity to check raise very often, because people just aren't betting much. So I am trying to find ways of working donking into my game a little bit. We're just going to jam now for value with our straight. If he's got a flush, then, as I always say, good for him. Hallelujah. More pale to him. Whatever minion phrase that I choose to use that particular instance. I keep dropping bombs with my bottom 2 pair. And our hand gets completely counterfeited by the river, so fuck that. King 3. You, sir, are getting the fish tag. Flop a gut shot multi-way on table 2. I think we'll just take the option to check and try and turn a queen. I would sometimes call, sometimes raise with this gut shot on table 1, but look at his stack size, it's pathetic, so we're just going to fold, because we have no fold equity against that stack size, and we're not getting us to call and draw, obviously. We're not getting the implied odds, should I say. We weren't getting the direct odds anyway, and we didn't have the implied odds because of its stack size, so that has to go in the bin. 3-bet for the first time in ages in that spot, so we're just going to fold our Jack Queen. Deuces. Deuces never loses. I believe we were saying that a couple of nights ago, weren't we? We're going to call this pot size open if it gets called again in another spot, which it doesn't. It just gets 3-bet, so super trivial fold. Flop a set. It's been a while since we've done that, so we're pleased with that. We don't flop a set on table 2 though. Tons of draws on this board where we can get called by worse. He's made a large bet into us, so we're going to raise. We can rep tons of draws. He can just decide to not fold and overpair or something. The fact he did bomb and fold is quite interesting, because usually when people bomb c-bet on wet boards, it's because they have a hand that they're just prepared to go with. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's a smallish pot. He's only like bet. Fair enough. He's only bet 6 big blinds, but it still represents a large portion of the pot. But we just don't want to slow play there. We've got a set, but there's so many fucking horrible turn cards for us. Cards that bring straights, cards that bring potential flushes, cards that just scare the fuck out of him, even when we have the best hand. And flop a set, I'm usually going to fast play it, especially on wet boards. As you can see, I'm calling much less pre-flop. I'm kind of only really set mining with my calling. And then maybe the occasional call when either I'm in position against a face shot, there's multi-way pot or something. I think it's something that I'm glad I noticed early and put a fix to, because I think it's probably going to add at least 1 or more big blinds per 100 to my win rate, just because I'm not being just as passive and, you know, moderate. Right now I'm pretty happy with where my game is, save for like a lack of focus from time to time, because I'm still not really super attuned to making it right back in the grind. 3 and 4 hour sessions, 3 table in like 600, 700, 800 hands per hour. I haven't been doing that for a while, so it's taking I'm certainly not super in the zone for all of the sessions, but I'm getting better at it. That's kind of what I want to work on too, is maybe working the occasional break in for like 5 minutes just to give me a chance to recharge. Things like that, rather than just going for the whole fucking monster long 3 hour, 4 hour non-stop grind. Here's 7 suited. I'm less inclined to 3-bet because he's potted it and his stack size, but our hand's way too strong to fold, so he's going to call and feel a little bit shit about it. Tempted to check raise bluff against his 2 big blinds and just treat it how it looks, as in it's a weak bet, and then take the consequences if it turns out that it's not a weak bet. Again, this table, we just seem to be like constantly calling 3-bets because people are 3-betting us when we're deep with them. It hasn't really worked out too well for us so far. Certainly going to bet versus this missed c-bet here. We can certainly call a raise unless he like jams or something stupid like that. It seems unlikely at this stack depth. And we're just giving it one to check raise, gets caught by a fish. So he has gone for a very small check raise. We clearly can't fold here. No idea what's going on when he chooses this sizing at this depth, but it doesn't seem very good to me. I think he just c-bets his flush draws most of the time, surely. This, to me, feels like he's playing an overpair really badly, and maybe he's picked up hearts with it. But almost feels like we could make him fall by jamming here. But if he just does have like aces with the ace of hearts, kings with the king of hearts, he's just not going to fold. My instinct is saying he's not fucking mega strong. And we can't call. Calling's out of the question. I'm not even getting 3-1 on a call. We've only got 8 outs. Well, possibly not even that. We could be drawing dead. Fuck it. Not happy with that. But should have bet these sixes, by the way, again. And it's something I need to work on because I've mentioned it 4 times now in the last 2 videos. Losing focus on one table when I'm in a pot at another table. I need to figure out why that's happening, and well, not why it's happening. It's happening because I'm getting too focused on one particular thing. But I need to figure out a way of making sure that I don't play other pots badly at the same time, because that's costing me EV, you know. And given that we're expecting to play a couple of 100,000 hands at least during this challenge, that might end up being quite a lot of big blinds by the end of it. So, needs work. Charming. Play or fuck off. That is absolutely delightful. Ace 3 flop. We're going to check back the flop. Call turn, decide river. That's pretty much going to be the plan. He doesn't lead the turn. He might just be sat there scared with a weak ace though, given that the potential flush has got there. So we're going to bet turn. Probably just check back river. Expect to lose a reasonable amount of the time to whatever, ace 5 or something. Queen 7. Okay. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Made the second hour of the Donkerman. Go us. And he's left in. Still 114 remaining. Slightly above average. And for some reason the money up top appears to have fucking gone down. So I presume that means that more players have registered and they're now paying out more players. Which isn't really what I want. I'd rather have more money up top. But when I play the $2 tournament anyway, I have argued in the past that I prefer to see structures with flat payouts and that pay more people out. We have a straight flush draw on table 1. We might have the best hand with that 2-8, although that seems pretty unlikely. Yeah, we'll just fold. Yeah, in the past I've argued in tournaments that I would rather see tournaments pay out slightly more players and take that money from the top. But I don't know. I'm far from sure that's the correct opinion. And I could definitely be persuaded otherwise. Like for me, not liking seeing like recreational players just lose their money super quickly. I like the thought of paying more players out. Pairing a straight draw. Super trivial c-bet. We get raised. Clearly have to call. But probably if he bombs, he's going to check fold, I guess. He's from the Ukraine. Hate paying players in Ukraine off. Not because they're from the Ukraine, just because they always seem to fucking have it. We have to go 22 into a pot of just about 60, so we're getting what, just under 3-1 on a call. We might be drawing to an ace for a chop. If it comes the ace, how often do we get paid by two pairs and sets? Almost never. Yeah, when you figure it out, it just ends up being a fold. And bluff with the threes here. If we get called, we know we can hit a 3, we got like whatever, 6 outs to a better hand. He might just fold an overpair here. You never know. You just never know. I think it's unlikely that you fold a big overpair, but you might fold a small overpair. I think there's more EV in raising there with that, like gut shot and what have you, than there is in just calling and hoping he's bluffing. Two overs, backdoor flush draw. We get called by two players. This is an interesting situation. Two overs and a gut shot on table 1. Let's start by betting on table 3. It's not the best of boards for us when we get called in 2 spots, but I don't really want to check call. And check folding seems way too weak. I'm checking back now on table 1 though, because the turn's a complete break and I don't expect any hands to call the flop that were beating us to then fold on the turn. Maybe very occasional small pairs or something. Most of his range we're calling the flop's going to call a turn on that particular turn card. Beginning to regret saying we'll make this video last as long as the tournament, because I'm kind of running out of things to say. So if I do go a little bit quiet, I do apologise. So I will make sure I'm talking on the interesting spots, but I'm probably not going to be as likely to fill out with fluffy stuff in between the spots. And double barrel, we pick up some equity on table 1. Sadly we don't get there, don't expect him to fold an ace, time to give up. I was about to say sometimes he checks back some like worse draws. He just gives up himself, but I didn't say it, so there we go. A glorious card, the diamond would have been on that river, wouldn't it? It's a glorious sight it would have been to behold. We've stole this Iris Kraz blind a lot. He's not played back at us, so I need to bear that in mind, that if or when he does play back, my initial perception of him being maybe some kind of loose aggressive regular, I can't allow that to cloud my judgment, because he's kind of let us steal his blind quite a bit. Nothing much to say about table 3 just yet, unless something interesting happens. We just flop trips and we see bet half pot. So we're flopping good at the moment. We're turning good. I mean, river is set on table 3, and then table 3, and that's when he chooses to donk into us. I think it's hard to get called by worse, so I'm just going to call. Set over set, we get there on the river. Yeah, so we're back to running good again. We had a little bit of a whine earlier, and wow, he just told me to F you. Why did he do that? I mean, it's hardly my fault that he let me get there. Check calling. It's hardly my fault that we won the pot. I mean, I really could not give less of a fuck about some random bloke saying F you in a chat box, by the way. It just seems a little bit rude to me that I won the pot and he's decided to say fuck you to me. Yeah, nice guy. And for the record, I'm not remotely touchy. Those are guys who do know me quite well by now. They'll realise just how much I do not give a flying fuck about stuff like that. In fact, bring it on, maybe. We have to let the King Jack suited go, which is a crying shame because it's such a pretty hand. Oh, we were getting 4-1. Fuck it, let's see your flop. We're getting 4-1, aren't we? And how can you? And this guy's probably going to come along, so we're probably getting that nearly 5-1. The question now is, do I want to bet call it off against Vlad? That is the $6.54 question. And the answer is yes. And I'm fully aware that I could be walking into aces here with it. Like, oh wow, you get snap called on. That wasn't expected. I kind of I was counting Lap Sheena out. Just going to check our draw on the tournament table because of how much traffic's involved, and we're just not going to put any more money in the pot with the King Jack. It's called us. We're top pair, not great kicker on that fucking board texture. And this is why we probably shouldn't end up fucking calling the squeeze pre-flop, because we get ourselves in all kinds of fucking messes like this. Where you just dominated all over the place. I mean, we're getting a ridiculously good price. I guess we have to just go with it. Two to one. We have not very much going on, do we? We have a flush draw going on. We have the world's worst fucking gut shot going on. We're just going to fold. All of a sudden we're down to just 30 odd bigs in the tournament, which is still, from tournament point of view, a reasonable stack size. I think it's one of my biggest leaks in tournaments. Once I get that like 20 or 30 blinds, I'm like, oh fuck, it's over. You know, what can you do off 20 blinds? And it's clearly a big mistake to think that way, but it's a mindset I frequently sink into. Donk our set. Flush card comes on the turn. Stick with keeping the lead. Hope not to get raised. We get the absolute delight of getting 4-bet when we have 2 aces. And virtually click it back just to give him a chance to spew into us. I mean, we could just have called there, but you know, usually I don't see people 4-bet bluffing too often in these games. So when I get 4-bet and I've got aces, I'm usually very happy to put the 5th bet in, or the jam, or the whatever. Check min raised on table 2. We're not going to stab again. We're not going to fall into that trap. Check min raise, check bomb. And we have top pair, marginal kicker. There's no draws on the flop. I have no clue what's going on here, but I think we're just going to fold. Two overs and a good shot seems good enough to see bet on table 2. We turn a pair. Again, we've got some pretty awkward stack depths going on here. We bet, kind of priced in to call it off, but when he shoves, we almost never have the best hand. So bet calling seems shit, bet folding seems shit. Check, call might be the best answer here. Giving chance to just bet worse hands, bluff sometimes. Keeps his range at its wideness, I guess. which is where we want to be in this spot. We're behind to lots of things here. Ace, Jack, Queen, Jack, Ace, Queen, 3 5s, flushes, straights. Fuck me, we're behind to a lot when you think about it, aren't we? We beat Ace 10. We're behind to a lot of things we don't beat very much. We're just going to fold. We have flopped a straight on table 3. We're going to go all in. And we are going to hold. It's been a fun session. I think we're back up to being up nearly 5 buy-ins for the session, which is not unpleasant. I think Kriller, when he checks back this flop, either has on like Ace X that he's pot controlling with his bluff with, like a suited ace, or pocket queens, pocket kings. So we're going to bet small. Don't think he has like pocket 6 or pocket 7s hardly ever. So we have the nuts there. But it's really hard to get called unless he has just been 3-betting, like I said, with something like 3-bet bluffing with a suited ace or what have you. Surprised he's like snap check folded the turn. Or snap folded the turn. You think, given that, unless he's just completely airballing me as a pre-flop with that king queen, well, not airballing, but 3-betting king queen suited or something that's totally missed. Guess that would make sense too. Good shot on table 3. Start by betting. The fall through. Everything seems to be working really well tonight for a change. We had that little blip in concentration about 20 minutes ago that feels like I've addressed, or at least arrested for the time being, even if it's not been addressed in the long term in terms of like preventing it happening again. I think prevention isn't that easy. I think identifying it early and then altering your course, that's the key. Like so, Rusty, we talked about him before. He's just like some really horrible fucking like weak tight fucking dreadful regular. I mean, I've seen him at 15L, 13L, 10L. I'm presuming he's just on a long-term path to bust, though. There's not a chance he's a winning player. Absolutely no chance that he's a winning player. He can't possibly. You can't play his style, be as bad as him, and be a winning player. But he plays all the fucking time, so Plays all the time, but he just never seems to want to even try and improve. It's bonkers. He's just doing the same thing over and over again and just like cascading down the limits. So this is a flop the nuts, turn the coconuts. Sorry, this is a flop the nuts, turn the monkey nuts on table 2. We've got the absolute coconuts on table 4 in the tournament. We get check raise. We're in love with the situation. We're just going to call so he can blast the river. Hope he's made a flush. He checks, which is disappointing. Which makes me now think he's scared of the flush. But we set up to jam, so we may as well just do it. Calls anyway with his queen 3. Delightful scenes. Bet on table 1, just a tiny little bit of incredibly thin value and just to prevent free cards. Raising for value on table 2. It donked into for like half pot or whatever it was. Continuing to raise for thin value. It's like hands like pocket 8, stuff like that. Pretty bad river for us. If he was like betting with a flush. With a flush draw, sorry, he's now completely got there. And he was just being a silly Billy. We managed to catch quite a few silly Billies out tonight, haven't we? This is a German player that called us a fish earlier. Hopefully he's up to something. Not the most exciting of flops for 2 aces. We get check min raise, we're clearly not folding yet. Still not folding. Now maybe we'll fold. And he decides to check. I don't want to go for value here. What did he have? 10-8. Wow. I guess he had a draw. Just one over card, no draw on table 2, so no c-bet. I just realised that this video is going to have a massive spoiler for you guys on the tournament front, because if, for example, I bust out the tournament in 5 minutes time, and you guys look now and you think, well, there's only 5 minutes left on the video, you know I'm not going to win the tournament. You know I'm just going to bust any second now. But as it's not meant to be a video with a tournament in it, I'm not going to be too concerned about that, of course. Next time we play, I think we'll just pop another cash table in there. But who knows, fuck it, there might be another tournament in there. Because I don't mind tournaments. Wow. Min 3-bet, min 4-bet. Fold and watch for the comedy. We would have had a flush draw at this point. And the Ace King and the King Jack just sitting there waving their dicks at each other. It's an impressive stack. Squirt, what's his face has got there. And next time I see him with that stack, I'm going to hover over him and see how long he's been playing for. And to call you against extra rush, he's got like all pocket pairs and stuff in his range. So we have to call against him. And I take extra pleasure in sucking out on him because something about him that just gets on my fucking nerves. How you been playing for, Squirt? Only 99 minutes, that's a hell of a stack. What's a fucking horrific flop for? Ace King, we're going to bet here against Garn. I think he would have bet a 10 or a queen by now. It's just whether he's going to fold whatever other pairs he's got. I probably shouldn't take that extra pleasure from stacking Ox or Roshi. Well, I just don't like he's fucking like he's in the games. He's just there. Yeah, he just fucking irritates me. Bugs the fuck out of me. So yeah, I do take extra pleasure from stacking him. I fucking despise short stackers. I guess there's less to dislike about bad short stackers, I guess, but even so, nevertheless, I don't like short stackers. They can go and fuck off for me. They can all go and die in that metaphoric grease fire, although I don't wish death on anybody, of course. Their poker careers can die in the grease fire. One hour 39 minutes up to on the video. Could be an absolute bruiser. Who knows? Second pair, backdoor, not flush draw. Bet here. Hope Exaroshi doesn't do some fucking ridiculous raise. She doesn't. We now are at 20 something blinds in the tournament, 23 blinds or whatever it is. No, it's not 22 blinds. And 20 to 1 implied. Not fond. But We'll take it. We'll take a punt. Let's see some blue on table 4. We do, however, see the ace, which is second prize, I guess. I'm just going to bet 600 here and try and get paid by Jack X on table 4. And we got called in 2 spots. We won in 2 spots. The fight and the struggle lives on. 6-4. What the fucking bejesus did he overcall with there? Sweet baby Jesus and the orphans. And then just folds his big blind next hand for a min race, which surprises me. Wow. So he had a pot size, but so it doesn't matter. Just in the stack size, it's completely irrelevant. In she goes. 7-4 and King 10. Naturally 7-4 gets there. Really cannot complain about. Don't want to tag him as too late, he's gone now. I'll find him in a minute. Change his tag. We don't know he's a donkey. So we'll keep him as fish. This tournament could end up as like the E version of Gus Hansen, every hand revealed, only I haven't talked about almost any of the fucking hands. Quite exciting to have a tournament start to finish that I've won. Quite a long way off yet, still 82 players to get through. But as Captain Sensible once said, if you don't have a dream, how are you going to have a dream come true? And rightly so. I mean, Captain Sensible, I'm not saying he's one of the world's greatest ever philosophers, but, he was right on that point. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube and Google the song Happy Talk and listen to it through. Song has particularly bad memories for me because my nana was playing it on a record player once back in the 80s. The vibration of the song caused the speaker to drop down on her head, corner first, and split her head open. I was about 6 or 7 at the time, and I thought my nana was going to die. She didn't die. Well, she did eventually, of course she did, but I mean, she didn't die because of the speaker boshing her on the noggin. But yeah, it was a grim sight. 1 minute they were there, listening and singing along to Captain Sensible. Next minute, it's like emergency ward 10 in my nana's parlour. Fucking blood gushing from a particularly nasty cut. Wasn't so much happy talk going on just there and then, that's for sure. I feel like I need to find that song on YouTube now and really break my focus. Mind you, then again, YouTube just fucking mutes them, don't they? If they find a song in a fucking... I don't want my whole video muting because of happy talk, so we will not bother. I once made a video with like a backing music so I didn't have to talk so much, and the whole fucking thing got muted by YouTube, which pissed me off, so I'm not risking a 1 hour, currently 1 hour 45-minute video being completely muted by a song. And check back against squirt here and just call when he pots the river. As I expect him to. He seems to like clicking pot. Whatever, if he's got me beat, he's got me beat. 4-7, he does have me beat. I'm going to give him the fish tag because he's got an absolutely massive stack and he seems quite loose. So I think my plan there was absolutely fine. The fact he river trips is neither here nor there. Well, it is, so I guess we could have bet the flop and bet the turn and maybe prevented him from rivering trips. We are so deep here on table 2. Table 3, we're not even going to bother 3-betting. Pre-flop's almost irrelevant when you're 400 blinds deeper. And it's like open to 3-bet to 9. It's almost completely irrelevant, so we'll just call and whatever. I was almost going to check my aces there, which would not have been good on that board. I'm going to bet here again against Inhaler, or whatever it's called, Inhalber, and then check the river and allow him to bluff into me, although that is a fucking horrendous river card. I don't see what we beat now. 9-8 got there, all these 2 pairs got there, his flush got there. It was going to be a check call and a break, now it's just going to be a check fold, and I don't care that he's going to call me a fish or a chicken or whatever. We won anyway, which is quite surprising. I guess he must have about, what, 10-9 or something maybe? King, Queen. I guess we could have maybe got value from that exact holding, but against his range there, I think check fold is fair. I guess we just have to go all in to re-isolate against Silbass. We get it in really good, and we basically flop the absolute fucking world and hold, which is nice. And we've moved again on table, whatever, on the tournament table. Still making the 30 big blinds sing down there. Good shot, table 1. Heavy multi-way pot, backdoor flush draw. Call just once, because I think if we hit an offsuit king or the king of hearts, I think we can win a big pot against someone who's dunked into us. Sadly, we break, and we're going to have to fold to a second barrel. Potential big moment coming up in the tournament, or biggest moment, or one of the biggest moments so far. Someone's gone all in under the gun. We're going to obviously put lots of our stack in with our ace king. Your choco was to re-isolate all in. It makes, oh, this guy. We just have to go all in, obviously, and wow, we're getting really good shape against 10 jack, but green one, ace, king, green, no, wow, 10 jack. I mean, he's obviously played that hand pretty fucking horribly, but as Barry Greenstein once said, LOL Donkerments. That is going to signal the end of the video, though. We've had 1 hour 50 minutes worth, so we can't really argue with that. We are going to end on a set, though, which is exciting. So we're going to lose with our pocket jacks. And I'm going to hope he doesn't bet here. Can we bet for thin value? It's like bet 4 to a raise, isn't it? We're going to bet quite big. Oh, dirty. How the fuck does he just like check call that turn? Wow. And that goes back to what we were talking about yesterday. How people they just seem to not know how to bet their hands out of position on these games. And I think we could have lost a lot bigger pot there. Yeah. I mean, I'm not bitching about that. I feel quite relieved that we didn't lose, or that I didn't lose a much bigger pot. No idea how he just like starts bluff cut, turns a set and starts like just, you know what? I'm just going to go into check call mode. I mean, obviously he was trapping on the turn, then he gets a bit scared on the river. I understand it, but just bet the fucking turn, dude. Bet the turn. You've just sucked out on a king. Yeah. Well, whatever. There we go. Tournament's over. Did we cash? Don't think so. Finish 70th. No, not even fucking close. Yeah, so we'll leave it there. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed making it. There's been tons of action, so yeah. Not sure we're making a video tomorrow night. I have 2 sessions with guys from my group, so I might just take a day off the video making and just have a smaller grind, because obviously at least 2 hours of my time is going to be taken up by other activities. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and we're back in certainly the next day or so with another video. But for now, we'll leave it, and yeah, take care guys, and we'll chat again soon. Bye bye for now.